Narada Uvacha.
The great saintly sage Narada Muni said, Evam, thus, Saradaya, the groups of demigods, Sarve, all, Brahma, Rudra, Kṛṣṇa,
represented by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva.
represented by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, Na, Nat, Upaitum,
to go before the Lord.
to go before the Lord,
Ashakan,
Ashakan,
able,
able,
Manyu
Manyu Samrambham,
in a completely angry mood.
in a completely angry mood,
Sudarasadam,
Sudarasadam,
very difficult to approach.
very difficult to approach,
Lord Nrsimhadeva.
Lord Nrsimhadeva.
Translation. The great saint Narada Muni continued. The demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other great demigods, dared not come forward before the Lord, who at that time was extremely angry.
Anyone? Translation? Oh, yeah. Read the Padma.
Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung in his Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. Anger should be used to punish a demon who is envious of devotees. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy all have their proper use for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotee. A devotee of the Lord cannot tolerate blasphemy of the Lord or His other devotees, and the Lord also cannot tolerate blasphemy of a devotee. Thus Lord Nrsimhadeva was so very angry that the great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and even the goddess of fortune, who is the Lord's constant companion, could not pacify him, even after offering prayers of glorification and praise. No one was able to pacify the Lord in his anger. But because the Lord was willing to exhibit his affection for Prahlad Maharaj, all the demigods and the others present before the Lord pushed Prahlad Maharaj forward to pacify him.
So, the material world, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. These things are condemned, and for a sadhak means a neophyte devotee is advised to give up these low-grade habits. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. But people may question where from these low-grade qualities came. Kama is low-grade, admitted, but where from it came? In the Vedanta Sutra, we get the reply, Janmadasya. Everything that we experience, it comes from God. So, you stand this way. You are standing, they can stand. So, without the original source, even these low-grade things, where from it comes? It comes from God. Just like adharma, irreligiosity, is described as the backside of God. And religiosity is described as the front side of God. So, there is no difference between front side and back side. Absolute. God is absolute. Anyway, even apart from God's body, even in our body, we do not make any distinction. Suppose if there is some trouble, if there is some boil here in the front side, and if there is some boil in the back side, does it mean I shall not take care of the back side boil? I shall take care of it, I shall have treatment for it. I cannot neglect the backside boil because it has come out from the backside. There is no such reason. So, this bad habit, kama krodha. Kama means lust. Krodha means anger. So, if they are also coming from God, then how we can neglect it? How we can reject it? So there is no need of rejecting. That is the Narottam Das Thakur. You cannot reject. That is not possible. As you are a living being, there must be Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Matsya. You cannot reject it. You cannot make it zero. That is impersonal. But it has its proper use. That you have to know. Unless you know the proper use of everything, proper use means it must be used for Kṛṣṇa. Then it is proper. Otherwise it is misuse. There is no such thing as bad. Everything is good when it is used for Kṛṣṇa. That is the difference between material and spiritual. Spiritual, everything is good. And material, everything is bad. You cannot make any distinction when a thing is used materially. It is bad. Therefore, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Dvaite bhadra bhadra sakuli sama. Dvaite means in this world of duality, everything is bad. They have invented some artificial meaning. This is good, this is bad. But actually, everything is bad in the material world. There is nothing good. And just the opposite, in the spiritual world, everything is good. The other day, I was giving the example that Kṛṣṇa is thief also. Makhan Chor. And there is still in Yamuna, Khir Chora. It's famous. The thief who stole condensed milk. So this churi means stealing is there in Kṛṣṇa. Does it mean that it is bad? No. It is good because it is connected with Kṛṣṇa. It is good. Otherwise, how people are worshipping a thief? And when it is used materially, when I steal something for my sense gratification, I am beaten with sword. This is the distinction. Anything, bad or good, they are coming from Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa says in the Bhagavad, Aham sarvasya prabhava. matta sarvam pravartate. Aham sarvasya prabhava. I am the origin of everything. So anything coming from Kṛṣṇa, how it can be bad? It cannot be bad, absolute. Kṛṣṇa says personally, and Vedanta says, Janmadasya jata. Absolute truth is that from where everything is coming. So, the lust is also coming from Kṛṣṇa. We find lusty desires among the gopis, among Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends Brahma Kājit Upasana Gajavadavi Kalpika. There is no better mode of worship than it was conceived by the Brajavadu dancings of Braja, Vrindavan, parochial. But in the material world, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict about women that once upon a time there was singing of women in the Jagannath temple, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was running fast. Oh, how nice singing is going on in the temple. Let me go and hear. Then Govinda, his personal servant, checked him. My dear son, this singing is done by women. Oh, this woman, Govinda, you have saved my life. You see. And the same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended about the gopis who love Kṛṣṇa as Paraman. Brahma Kājit Upasana Brajavadu Vargavi Radha. Just see the distinction. The same business is there, but it is all spiritual. Therefore, absolutely, everything is very, very blissful. They do not understand. The Sahaja means the blissful dealings, transcendental, spiritual dealings of gopis and Kṛṣṇa, they take it as material. Therefore they are condemned. Then it looks similar, but it is not the same thing. One is gold, one is iron. A polished iron, golden thing, golden color, does not mean it is gold. All that glitters is not gold. So we should not mistake. Therefore, one who cannot distinguish the spiritual lust and the material lust, these should avoid very strictly. They have no spiritual realization. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has strictly avoided. In his kirtan, he never described the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa, his dealings with gopis. That we will mark in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. 18 years he lived in Jagannath Puri. Every night there was kirtan, but there was no lila kirtan. You'll find it. No lila kirtan. Hare Krishna, that's all. No lila. But does it mean that Kṛṣṇa, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu avoided lila kirtan? No. He enjoyed it with very, very confidential devotees, like Ramananda Rai, Sarup Damodar, like not public. Because so long we are in the lower stage of devotion, we shall misunderstand. They are doing that. You will find that the rascals who have no idea about Kṛṣṇa, they are very much fond of painting Kṛṣṇa's picture, dealings with the gopis. because they take it that it is just like we deal with young men or woman. It is something like that. So that is a great mistake. They should not, then they will become sahajya, very strictly prohibited. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami has warned that one should not even dream like that Kṛṣṇa is dealing with gopis. It's just like our dealing with a woman. No, it is completely different. Therefore, we have to understand Kṛṣṇa. Vyasdeva has devoted 9 cantos to understand Kṛṣṇa. And then in the 10th canto, he has put the gopis dealing with Kṛṣṇa. That is also beginning from 29th chapter. So we should always know this, that lust is coming from Kṛṣṇa. But his lust, this lusty desire, and our lusty desire in the material world, they are not the same. So Narottam Das Thakur advice says, Kama Kṛṣṇa Karmarpane. We have got lusty desires, but it should be utilized for Kṛṣṇa. It's like we are very much anxious to fulfill our lusty desires. So if we turn our lusty desires for serving Kṛṣṇa, we should be equally